Residents in flood-ravaged far north Queensland return home to utter devastation. Donald Trump disqualified from running for president in Colorado. 3 young people killed in a single car crash on a country highway in New South Wales. And Australian bowlers Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins smash IPL auction records. Hello and welcome to ABC Late News. I'm Jade Barker. Residents in flood-ravaged Queensland are returning home to a scene of utter devastation after record rains tore through the far north. Just days out from Christmas, there's a sense of despair as the massive clean-up begins. There's also grave fears for an 85-year-old man who's been missing since Sunday.
A holiday season full of heartache.
I'm going through stage 3 or whatever it is today, and a bit more emotional today.
Kate Campbell's home, a filthy, mud-soaked mess.
What about that furniture down there?
The mud army's rolled up, the community spirit shining through.
Right down here, we're coming up to a few more steps here.
But the gravity of this disaster is just starting to hit home now the rain's eased.
Pretty heart-wrenching that a lot of people don't have contents insurance, so they can't get most of the stuff replaced.
At nearby Holloways Beach, this father has lost almost everything he owns.
I don't see much of a Christmas coming, that's for sure.
The streets are littered with debris. It's a disaster the far north will be grappling with for months.
We're alive, we're safe, so that's all we can ask for.
From first light, the army recommenced mass evacuations from the small community of Woodward. The Townsville-based Chinooks flying women and children out first to the safety of Cooktown. Entire towns like Rossville, just south of there, are still isolated with roads cut. Belle Newman has 4 children under 5 and supplies are dwindling.
We've probably got at least 5 days of stuff.
There are grave fears for an 85-year-old man missing north of Cairns.
Police have accessed his property but still not been able to locate him.
Dead cows litter beaches and wild barramundi lay rotting in a Cairns park.
It was devastating really to see the damage to the infrastructure, the beaches. It'll take a long time to recover.
And it is yet another kick in the teeth for tourist operators.
Flashbacks of the COVID pandemic and the big old unknown.
While the human side of this disaster is still unfolding, it's also an agricultural catastrophe. This region is a food bowl and produces bananas, mangoes and sugar for the rest of the country. Cane fields are saturated and there is no way of getting crops to the local sugar factory after a railway bridge washed away.
All our cane comes across this river, and there's no other way to get it across.
13 weeks of income support is now available for those who can't work. And a flood appeal has been launched as those who are high and dry try to keep up the Christmas spirit. Christy Sexton-McGrath, ABC News.
In a stunning and unprecedented decision, Donald Trump has been banned from running in Colorado's Republican presidential primary. The state's top court has ruled him ineligible, citing the federal constitution's insurrection clause. The former president's legal team says it will appeal against the decision, setting up a showdown in the US Supreme Court.
Donald Trump is in full campaign mode.
On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy.
But his path to a presidential comeback just got more complicated. The Colorado Supreme Court has disqualified him from running in the state's Republican primary. The reason? The events of January 6, 2021, when Trump supporters stormed the US Capitol. In a 4-3 split decision, the Colorado court ruled against the former president, citing the US Constitution's 14th Amendment, which bars office holders who have engaged in insurrection or rebellion from running again.
The shared bond of our Constitution was applied to ensure that the rules are followed.
Donald Trump's legal team says the ruling attacks the very heart of this nation's democracy. We trust that the Supreme Court will reverse this unconstitutional order. The decision has been stayed until January 4, just before the deadline for ballots to be printed.
If the Supreme Court upholds the Colorado decision, it's obviously the end for Trump's political career. He can't run for office again in the United States.
Speaking shortly after the ruling, Donald Trump provided no direct response, but he did reference the multiple legal cases against him.
They're weaponizing law enforcement for high-level election interference.
He's the subject of 2 criminal cases over alleged election interference, conspiracy charges over the alleged misuse of classified documents, not to mention a hush money case in New York. But he's still the runaway Republican frontrunner and leads Joe Biden in some head-to-head polls.
And we have 11 months to go.
11 months until the general election, but less than 1 month until the start of the primaries. Sean Hassett, ABC News.
NT Treasurer Eva Lawler will be sworn in as the Northern Territory's new Chief Minister. Ms Lawler replaces Natasha Files, who resigned over an undisclosed shares scandal. The new Deputy Chief Minister will be current Attorney General Chancey Paik. Joining Ms Files on the backbench will be former Deputy Chief Minister Nicole Manison, who lost her bid for the top job. A 14-year-old boy is missing in waters of Victoria's southwest coast after being swept out to sea on Tuesday night. The teenager was exploring rock pools at Cape Bridgewater with his 15-year-old friend when the pair was swept into the water. The older boy made it back to shore safely and alerted emergency services, sparking an air and water search. The search continued throughout the day but has so far failed to find him.
We're hoping to find the boy alive. Obviously, the more time that goes by, realistically, we're becoming more concerned. But at this point in time, we're treating this as a search and rescue operation.
A $500 million Defence Department data management project is in disarray, according to a previously secret review that's now been tabled in the Senate. The review has identified multiple serious governance failures, and it also raises questions about the $100 million contract issued to consulting giant KPMG as part of the project.
For years, Defence has tried to create a unified digital platform for its wide array of data, from staffing to logistics to satellite imagery, to give soldiers an edge in combat.
This has been the holy grail for Defence for decades.
The Prime Minister today...
Last year, the former government announced KPMG would help to deliver the project in a $100 million contract.
There's been this idea that you can bring together all the disparate sources of information into one place, and that would give the warfighter an edge by giving the warfighter the right information at the right time at the right place.
Now, a previously secret review of the project has been tabled in the Senate, revealing serious governance failures by Defence. The review found taxpayers may have paid for goods and services not received, and that changes to the contract to reduce demands on KPMG are watering down the integrity of the process. Defence was forced to hand over the review by order of independent Senator David Pocock, who had been concerned about government contracts with the Big Four consultancy firms.
Clearly there's some huge issues when it comes to the use of the Big Four and the gravy train that they've been on.
The review revealed the government had even released $100,000 to KPMG for work it knew had not met the terms of the contract, in the interest of maintaining a collaborative relationship.
Why, as Australians, we are tolerating governments shoveling money to multinational companies that aren't delivering?
Defence accepted it needed better traceability of its payments to KPMG, but rejected many other findings of the review, insisting it has maintained control over its contract with KPMG. This review is scathing and raises serious questions about the planned expenditure of more than $500 million taxpayer dollars. It also suggests there's profound confusion inside Defence about who's in charge and what's really being delivered. KPMG told the ABC that it rejected any claim of impropriety and said Defence has not paid more than it should have for its work on the project. Linton Besser, ABC News.
3 people in their 20s are the latest to die on New South Wales roads. It's prompted yet more calls for drivers to take extra care over the Christmas-New Year period. Regional roads account for the majority of fatal accidents, and police are again pleading with people to slow down.
For emergency services, the latest addition to the state's road toll was a confronting scene.
A single vehicle had run off the road and into a tree. There was 5 occupants of that vehicle. Unfortunately, 3 of the rear occupants are deceased.
It happened 20 kilometres south of Gunnedah in the quiet hamlet of Curlewis at around 6:30 this morning. Police believe the occupants were overseas workers on their way to work. Those killed were 2 women and a man, all aged in their 20s. The 24-year-old male driver suffered arm and chest injuries, while the female front passenger was airlifted to Newcastle's John Hunter Hospital in a serious condition. The cause of the crash is still unknown.
And it's raining. There are conditions that would attribute to this particular accident, but that still has not been conclusively determined at this point.
The latest fatalities bring the state's road toll to one of the highest in the last decade, even with 11 days of the year left. Authorities are pleading with drivers to take extra care.
The trauma that can be caused from road accidents, not only for those people involved in the accident, but the broader community, is immense.
And it just takes one mistake to end in catastrophe.
Regional roads have accounted for 70% of the 352 fatalities on New South Wales roads this year, a marked increase on the 270 fatalities across the state in 2022. Max Tillman, ABC News, Curlewis.
There are calls in Victoria for an urgent review of e-scooter safety. Frustrated doctors say the current playing field places an unacceptable burden on the state's health system. A new study has found treating badly injured e-scooter users, who are usually riding drunk or without a helmet, cost one hospital nearly $2 million last year.
They've become an everyday sight, but doctors say the booming e-scooter industry has a hidden underbelly, with 250 injured riders visiting the Royal Melbourne Emergency Department in the e-scooter trial's first year alone.
That's one hospital in one city in Australia.
Their injuries, many of them life-changing, make for squeamish reading. More than 100 riders broke, cut or sprained their arms as they tried to break their falls. The number of head injuries, 128, gave doctors cause for even greater concern. On the more gruesome end, smashed teeth and brain bleeds. One rider died from a traumatic brain injury. Frustrated doctors say the costly imposition on an overburdened health system could be avoidable.
We've got very highly occupied hospitals, so any increase is really too much at the moment.
Only 1 in 3 riders reported wearing a helmet. The same proportion admitted to drinking alcohol, but the true rate could have been higher.
A bulk of our injuries are happening on Friday and Saturday nights when people walk out of a nightclub or out of a bar and there's an e-scooter in front of them and they make a split-second decision that can turn out to change their lives.
The study did not distinguish between hired scooters and privately owned ones, but Melbourne's 2 e-scooter rental companies, Lime and Neuron, both insist that their accident rates are marginal.
We've got a huge opportunity identified in this study to increase the public education around the risks of e-scooters and the way to ride them more safely.
In terms of e-scooter accidents, is that they are kind of on a parallel with regular bikes.
The study's authors warn the injuries have continued across repeat trial extensions. They say tightening safety and a levy paid by hire companies to bridge an insurance gap could help ease a substantial health burden. Jessie Thompson, ABC News.
Despite mounting international calls for a fresh truce in Gaza, the United Nations Security Council remains deadlocked on putting a ceasefire motion to a vote. Civilian casualties within the Strip continue to soar. Gazan health authorities say around 100 Palestinians were killed over the past 24 hours.
This was the place they called home, reduced to rubble. The southern border town of Rafah, which only weeks ago Israel was urging Palestinians to move to, again the target of Israeli missile strikes. Mahmoud Zohrab is lucky to be alive. He weeps over the deaths of his children, including a newborn baby girl. Just 2 weeks old, this grandmother says. Her name hadn't even been registered. 13 other family members were also killed. As the civilian toll grows, so too does the international pressure for a pause in fighting. A UN Security Council vote on a Gaza ceasefire has been delayed a second time. The language used in the wording of the statement understood to be a key sticking point. Israel now says it's ready to support another pause to enable more hostages to be released.
We are not fighting the people of Gaza. They are not our enemies. We are fighting Hamas. They are our enemies.
The impact of this conflict is being felt around the world. Attacks on container ships in the Red Sea from Iran-backed Houthi rebels is threatening global supply chains. Australia has signed an international statement endorsed by the US condemning these attacks, but has yet to commit to meeting a request from the US to send a warship.
We know that the US understands the best way for Australia to support this is through diplomatic support, and our resources have been prioritised in our region.
A humanitarian tragedy in Gaza, a growing crisis on the seas. This is a war worsening by the day. John Lyons, ABC News.
President Volodymyr Zelensky is considering a proposal to mobilise another 500,000 Ukrainians into the armed forces. The controversial move would mark a dramatic step up of Kiev's war with Russia as it nears the 2-year mark. The Ukrainian leader told his end-of-year news conference that he wanted to hear more arguments in favour before deciding whether to send the military's proposal to Parliament. Russia has been expanding its army during the war and says it plans to boost its ranks to 1.5 million service members. Lava spewing from a volcano in Iceland appears to be flowing away from the only nearby town, offering hope that homes will stay safe. Scientists have been expecting the eruption for several weeks and evacuated the fishing village of Grindavik in November. Most of the lava is flowing into an area where there's little infrastructure, but gas pollution remains a concern.
It's one of the most spectacular volcanic eruptions in recent memory. After weeks of seismic activity, the volcano north of Grindavik finally erupted. Lava bubbling and spewing along a volcanic vent around 4 kilometres long.
It's just fascinating to see just nature in action. It's just like something from a movie.
You can still see some lava coming up. For us, this is amazing.
Coming today, getting the chance to be behind Sirlingahöll and being so close to it, and being able to fly the drone literally 10 metres away, is an amazing feeling.
The Icelandic government said it did not pose an immediate threat to life.
I can say that lava seems to be flowing in the convenient direction, but we also know the flow of lava can change the surrounding landscape, so this can change with short notice.
Grindavik's 4,000 residents had been evacuated last month following a series of earthquakes.
There's a chance that it opens up somewhere else and then it's going to be closer to Grindavik. So I don't see that in the near future they will let people get close to Grindavik. So we are back in the waiting game.
So far, the eruption has not produced the kind of volcanic ash that disrupts air travel. Nor has the lava flow threatened the popular Blue Lagoon geothermal spa or the local power plant.
It's just in time for Christmas and hopefully it will just stay like this or stop because this could affect some infrastructure.
It's unclear how long the eruption will last, but experts say it could go for weeks, even months. Steve Kinane, ABC News.
Online accommodation platform Airbnb must pay a $15 million fine for tricking customers into paying higher prices. The federal court found the tech giant engaged in misleading and deceptive conduct for years by fooling customers into thinking prices for listings were in Australian dollars when they were actually in the more expensive US currency. But that was hidden in small print on the last page of the booking process. Airbnb also had to pay $15 million in compensation to customers and costs for the regulator. A woman with disabilities is taking Qantas to court over its refusal to allow her assistance dog onto its flights. Qantas says the dog hasn't been trained to their approved standards, but her lawyers say it's a clear case of discrimination and it has wider impacts for all people with disability.
Go! Go, go! Yes!
Strike is a 3-year-old border collie.
Good boy!
And for most of his life, he's been an assistance animal to his owner, Rachel, who lives with disabilities.
Good boy.
I can't imagine my life without him now. He's changed my life significantly. And yeah, I've done things now that I never dreamt of being able to do before I had him.
That includes air travel. Rachel and Strike have been on plenty of flights in the last 2 years, travelling on Virgin and Rex for Rachel's work.
He alerts to medical issues before they're detectable. So it just gives me a chance to be able to address them before they become an issue. But he also does a lot of other things, even just helping with anxiety.
But Strike isn't allowed on Qantas flights. That's because he wasn't trained by the accredited agencies specified under Qantas's rules. He is, however, recognised and funded as an assistance dog by the National Disability Insurance Scheme.
It doesn't matter what I supply to Qantas, they're refusing to acknowledge his status as a qualified assistance dog.
Rachel is now taking the airline to court, accusing the national carrier of breaching disability discrimination laws.
Qantas is making its own rules, which we say is arbitrary and unfair and inconsistent with what is required and allowed under the national laws.
The airline has told the ABC it recognises the important role that properly trained assistance dogs perform for travellers with specific needs, and it carries many on board each year.
But Rachel says there are many more like her.
We're hoping to achieve policy change so that it's easier for other handlers like myself to be able to access flights with Qantas.
A leap of faith.
Yeah, good boy!
Naz Campanella, ABC News.
The AFL's concussion panel has cleared Collingwood defender Nathan Murphy to continue playing despite a long history of head knocks. Murphy was concussed and ruled out early in the grand final against Brisbane following a contest in the opening quarter. A group of concussion experts considered the 24-year-old's medical history. Despite suffering multiple concussions during his career, the panel recommended he can return to play next season. The Magpies board met with Murphy and his parents, and the panel's recommendation has been accepted. England Test star Zach Crawley has made a superb first impression with the Perth Scorchers as an outstanding century partnership with Aaron Hardie helped the team to a 9-wicket win over the Hobart Hurricanes. Hobart won the toss and batted, but was soon in a hole with Jason Brendendorf and Lance Morris striking early. But not everything went the Scorchers' way as Ashton Turner went off injured, and a remarkable 59 from just 20 balls from Chris Jordan helped the Hurricanes post a competitive total of 172. After the early loss of Cooper Connolly, Crawley and Hardie quickly turned the momentum in the Scorchers' favour and continued on in aggressive fashion as they finished the job. It's been a big 24 hours for Australian cricket, with the men celebrating records set at the IPL auction, while Australia's women prepare for a rare test against India in Mumbai. It'll be just the 4th test match for the women's side has played in 3 years, something captain Alyssa Healy would like to see change.
Shot. Beautiful batting from Alyssa Healy.
Alyssa Healy made her Australian debut in 2010, but she's played just 7 tests since.
For us to get sort of a one-off test match, it's really hard to take. I'd love to see more played. I think the reality of that is it won't happen.
She says women aren't given the same opportunity to test themselves as the men.
And you can throw it away and go, you know what, it was really hard. The conditions were difficult, but you didn't really get a chance to adjust that for the next test match and sort of build into the series.
Instead, she'll lead Australia against India as part of a multi-format series, which also includes 3 one-day and 3 T20 internationals.
These multi-format series are a great way to introduce Test cricket back into international fixtures.
A terrific opening over from Mitchell Starc.
Healy's one of Australia's highest paid players, but her income pales against her husband's. Australia fast bowler Mitch Starc.
An opening bid of 2 crore, please, for Mitchell Starc.
Overnight, Starc was bought for a record price at the Indian Premier League mini-auction by the Kolkata Knight Riders.
Newest member to the Kolkata team at 24 crore and 75 lakh. Sold. What a welcome back for Mitchell Starc.
That translates to a staggering $4.42 million, or more than $13,000 for every possible ball he could bowl at the coming IPL.
Fair bit of shock and certainly excitement with how it was all unfolding, but nothing that I could have ever imagined, I don't think.
His captain, Pat Cummins, briefly held the record when he was picked up earlier in the night by the Sunrisers Hyderabad for more than $3.6 million.
Sold.
Not bad for 2 months' work. David Mark, ABC News.
Time now for a check of the weather. Here's Jenny Woodward.
Showers and storms have been very active in eastern districts today, and we've had severe cells popping up through the day. Also plenty of storms in the far north, and all that storm activity is developing along and ahead of this trough line, which is intensifying, while the coastal section brought a much needed cool change to the New South Wales coast, including Sydney, just 19 there today. But back in the tropics, the Bureau are keeping a close eye on ex-tropical cyclone Jasper. It's moved into the Gulf, starting to show signs of redeveloping, but it's only a very low to low chance. But in any case, the associated trough will strengthen and bring an increase in showers and storms, so watch this space. The heat wave's continuing in the west, and it's really pushing a long way south, so tomorrow that heat combined with the gusty winds, high base storms and dry lightning is creating an extreme fire danger. That's the orange area down near Perth. For Queensland tomorrow, we'll see some isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms everywhere except the far southwest, but they will be more widespread east and southeast of Longreach, and some severe cells are possible. There'll be scattered showers in northeast parts of New South Wales, also along the southern and central coast, some isolated showers inland, and we could see some severe isolated thunderstorms up in the north. Moray's heading for 27. Mostly fine for Victoria, a bit of cloud about to the south, and there will be a couple of showers, a top of 24 in Melbourne. Mostly fine in Tasmania too, but then again some isolated showers, more likely inland and more likely in the northwest. Dry, mild and warm to hot about the northern parts of South Australia, moderate to fresh south-southeasterly winds. And we'll see showers and storms about the southern coast of WA, also developing through the interior. There's strong winds on the southern coast and the Pilbara, and we'll see some showers and storms about the northern districts and across to the top end, with a high chance in the Gregory, the Daly and the northern Arnhem districts. Storms for Darwin, of course, a top of 35.
That's ABC Late News for now. For more at any time, though, head to our website at news.abc.net.au. I'm Jade Barker. Thank you.
Tomorrow